second grade, 7 years old. My brother was talking about periods. I didn't like the way he was laughing. So I went to my mother. "What's a period?" I said. "It's punctuation," she said. "You put it at the end of a sentence."
My father brought me a card to my little girl, who isn't so little anymore. I was terrified. My mother showed me the thick sanitary napkins. I was to bring the used ones to the can under the kitchen sink.
I remember being one of the last. I was 13. We all wanted it to come. I was so afraid, I started putting the used pads in brown paper bags in the dark storage places under the roof.
8th grade, my mother said, "Oh, that's nice." In junior high, brown drips came before it, coincided with a little hair under my arms, which grew unevenly. One armpit had hair, the other didn't.
I was 16, sort of scared. My mother gave me codeine. We had bunk beds. I went down and lay there. My mother was so uncomfortable.
One night, I came home late and snuck into bed without turning on any lights. My mother, she found the used pads and put them between the sheets of my bed.
I was 12 years old, still in my underwear, hadn't gotten dressed. Looked down on the staircase and there it was. Looked down and I saw blood.
7th grade, my mom sort of noticed my underwear. Then she brought me plastic diapers.
My mom was very warm. "Let's get you a pad." My friend Marcia, they celebrated when she got hers. They had dinner for her. We all wanted our period. We all wanted it now.
13 years old. It was before Kotex. Had to watch your dress. I was black and poor. Blood on the back of my dress in church. Didn't show, but I was guilty.
I was 10 and a half. No preparation. Brown gunk on my underpants. She showed me how to put in a tampon. Only got in halfway. I associated my period with inexplicable phenomena.
My mother told me you had to use a rag. My mother said no to tampons. You couldn't put anything in your sugar dish. For wads of cotton, my mother brought me Elizabeth Taylor paper dolls.
I was 15 years old. My mother said, "Mazel tov." She slapped me in the face. Didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. My period. Like cake mix before it's baked. Indians sat on moss for 5 days. Wish I were Native American.
I was 15 and I'd been hoping to get it. I was tall and kept growing. When I saw white girls in the gym with tampons, I thought they were bad girls. Saw little red drops on the pink tiles. I said, yeah, my mom was glad for me. Used OB and liked putting my fingers up there.
11 years old, wearing white pants. Blood started to come out. Thought it was dreadful. I'm not ready. I got back pains. I got horny.
12 years old. I was happy. My friend had a Ouija board, asked when we were going to get our periods, looked down, and I saw blood.
Looked down and there it was. I'm a woman. Terrified. Never thought it would come. Changed my whole feelings about myself. I became very silent and mature. A good Vietnamese woman. Quiet worker, virtuous, never speaks.
9 and a half. I was sure I was bleeding to death. Rolled up my underwear and threw them in a corner. Didn't want to worry my parents. My mother made me hot water and wine, and I fell asleep.
I was in my bedroom in my mother's apartment. I had a comic book collection. My mother said, "You mustn't lift your box of comic books." My girlfriends told me you hemorrhage every month.
My mother was in and out of mental hospitals. She couldn't take me coming of age. "Dear Miss Carling, please excuse my daughter from basketball.
She has just matured." At camp, they told me you couldn't take a bath with your period. They wiped me down with antiseptic. Scared people would smell it. Scared they'd say I smelled like fish.
Throwing up, couldn't eat.
I got hungry.
Sometimes
It's very red.
I like the drops that drop into the toilet like paint.
Sometimes it's brown and it disturbs me.
I
I was 12. My mother slapped me and brought me a red cotton shirt. My father went out for a bottle of sangria.